I think Khabib's an amazing fighter. He's done a great job representing the UFC. He's a great ambassador for our sport. But if you were to, ask, some MMA experts about myself and Khabib, I think most people would be able to tell, just our resumes are completely different.
Yours is much deeper.
Yeah. I've fought so many world champions under my belt that I've defeated. Khabib, a lot of his victories are against a lot of people that are relatively unknown, and where I've been fighting legends since I was a young man.
Is Jon Jones scared to fight you?
Yes, absolutely. Jon is cunning.
From the jump, Tom Aspinall isn't holding anything back here. He's launching a full assault, branding Jon Jones as both terrified and a complete fraud. Now pause and really consider this for a moment. This goes way beyond the standard promotional hype we typically witness. The predictable verbal sparring that builds up fights. Not at all. Aspinall is methodically orchestrating a mental warfare campaign to uncover what he truly believes are Jones's fundamental insecurities and deceptive strategies. He's targeting Jones's psyche with surgical precision, but this is where everything takes a compelling turn, and this dynamic shift makes the entire drama absolutely captivating. In this ultra-competitive battleground that defines the UFC heavyweight landscape, where every decision carries massive consequences and every statement matters enormously, sometimes the most aggressive frontal attacks can accidentally show your cards and reveal your own vulnerability. We're witnessing firsthand how Jones's strategic countermoves, or even more revealing, his deliberate silence, could potentially uncover the actual hierarchy at work, demonstrating to Aspinall precisely what his position truly is, and whether he possesses any real influence in this scenario.
The public, man.
He said, Aspinall need that fight, I don't need it. And he's in the position to claim what he wants. There's nothing that he's going to make in winning that fight if it's not money. But for Aspinall, that will be everything.
I'm not really worried about the Tom fight. I'm really worried about the Pereira fight. That's what I want to do. I'm at a place now where I want to take super fights. I don't want to fight dangerous up-and-comers anymore. I want to fight dangerous.
Perfect timing! Jones deploys his signature misdirection strategy with flawless execution. He masterfully reframes the whole story as Aspinall desperately chasing him for relevance. Completely flipping the script, systematically positioning Aspinall as merely another hungry contender, regardless of holding that interim championship. Let this reality hit you fully. This goes beyond Jones simply making excuses or avoiding confrontation. This represents a masterfully executed status reduction of Aspinall's standing within the division. Jones absolutely believes, or wants the world to believe, that he exists in an entirely separate stratosphere, operating on an elite tier above all competition, exclusively pursuing what he deems super fights against established legendary champions who guarantee massive financial returns. He's methodically orchestrating the complete storyline surrounding this potential showdown, systematically undermining Aspinall's credibility as a legitimate threat to validate his chase of a far more profitable battle against Alex Pereira. This singular response, this condescending positioning, establishes the foundation for why this coveted heavyweight showdown that supporters desperately crave remains such an agonizing back-and-forth situation that stretches endlessly, keeping everyone questioning whether this clash will ever materialize.
Aspinall will be a more challenging fight because Aspinall responds to a ground game better than Pereira.
This expert breakdown becomes absolutely essential because it completely dismantles Jones's condescending newcomer characterization through pure technical analysis. Emphasizing Aspinall's elite grappling and wrestling advantages over Pereira represents far more than simple commentary from an analyst. This becomes a game-changing revelation about precisely why Jones could be tactically sidestepping this confrontation. Consider the deeper implications here. If Aspinall truly offers a more complex and dangerous stylistic puzzle for Jones, particularly in those specific combat areas where Jones has consistently overwhelmed challengers throughout his incredible championship run, then Jones's public preference for battling Pereira suddenly appears far less about pursuing historic super fights and much more about strategic self-preservation. This analysis provides substantial evidence supporting Aspinall's accusations of cowardice, revealing Jones's complete super fight storyline as potentially an intricate facade created to dodge the division's most threatening challenger. The raw hunger and pure determination just pours out of Tom Aspinall during this exchange. He's not simply campaigning for a title shot or attempting to secure a massive contract. He's virtually begging for this opportunity to present itself, exposing his complete vulnerability, This moment perfectly demonstrates his absolute belief in his capabilities and his burning obsession with proving himself against the undisputed greatest champion to determine if he can truly claim the throne. It's obvious that Aspinall views this as his calling, his life's work, the career-defining battle that would cement his place in history forever. While Jones operates behind the scenes, playing strategic politics and optimizing his negotiating position, Aspinall remains completely fixated on one singular goal: stepping into that cage with Jones. Everything else becomes irrelevant to him. This dramatic difference in their strategies reveals the entirely separate forces motivating each competitor in this mesmerizing developing story that keeps the combat sports world completely engaged.
Say 100%.
I had a meeting with Dana.
Listen, Jon Jones definitely wants to fight. Just when and where is what we're working on now.
And he literally walked into the room and said, "It's happening."
He says he wants you money. I imagine Dana will pay him you money, won't he?
I would imagine so.
Because that's what happened with the Francis Ngannou fight in 2020. He threw out a massive number. He said, I want Deontay Wilder numbers.
Yep.
They said no. And
So what's the real formula for making this dream fight a reality? This breakdown becomes incredibly revealing because it exposes the genuine obstacles preventing this matchup from happening, making it seem impossible regardless of fan pressure. It reveals Jones's main driving force during this career phase, and we need to be completely realistic about this. Money drives everything. Their comparison to negotiations for other massive events hits perfectly and tells the whole story. Jones has moved beyond fighting purely for historical significance. He's moved past simply trying to establish his greatness. He's pursuing life-changing wealth, the type of financial security that transforms generations. When he expresses interest in any particular matchup, that interest comes with an absolutely staggering financial requirement. We're discussing 8-figure payouts. This has nothing to do with avoiding competition or running from tough opponents for Jones right now. Everything centers on maximizing his earning potential and securing every penny he believes he deserves, which creates massive complications for any potential fight, particularly against someone like Aspinall, who doesn't yet guarantee the mainstream appeal and pay-per-view success that other possible opponents could deliver.
I'll see you guys later.
That's it.
he gave them a price tag. He said, I'll do it for this number.
What number?
I believe it's in the $30 million range. They eventually got to the $30 million.
Finally, the truth emerges, the legendary $30 million demand that's been circulating in whispers. This represents far more than a random negotiating starting point. This demonstrates Jon Jones's unprecedented bargaining strength and his estimated worth within the sport, both to UFC leadership and the fan base. The UFC's willingness to meet that absolutely staggering sum shows just how desperately they wanted this fight to happen, even featuring a relatively unproven draw in terms of casual fan recognition. It reveals the harsh business realities behind these super fights in today's MMA landscape, functioning as much like corporate mergers as athletic competitions. This massive financial requirement demonstrates the UFC's determination and readiness to spend big, while simultaneously creating an almost unreachable standard for future deals and discussions. It transforms the core question of whether this fight materializes from being about fighter desire or sporting logic into pure economics, profit calculations, and whether the financial mathematics work for everyone involved. Then just days after everything seemed settled, he completely reverses course and walks away entirely. Once he stepped back, he never returned. The door closed permanently, though somehow it remains slightly open. This situation perfectly captures the maddening reality for supporters dying to witness this fight, and for Aspinall, who's been pursuing it relentlessly. Following all the media attention, private negotiations, public pressure, and even reaching an incredible financial agreement that satisfied Jones's requirements, Jones simply disappears at the final moment. This reveals a consistent behavioral pattern suggesting avoidance that transcends normal business negotiations or financial posturing. That phrase about reconsidering completely destroys expectations and creates serious doubts about Jones's real motivations. This isn't another scheduling delay or temporary negotiation hiccup. This represents a final, though never publicly confirmed, complete rejection of facing Aspinall. Everyone from supporters to journalists to UFC management questions what actually changed at that critical juncture, strengthening the common belief that Jon Jones functions entirely according to his own mysterious schedule and personal conditions that remain impossible for others to comprehend or anticipate. Tom Aspinall lands a devastating blow that strikes directly at the heart of this problem. He's exposing the complete absence of any public statement from Jon Jones about fighting him, which becomes absolutely crucial. This isn't about private discussions happening behind closed doors. This concerns Jones's carefully managed public image and his communication choices, or more significantly, his deliberate silence. If Jones genuinely desired to face Aspinall, even if money was his only motivation, a powerful public commitment would dramatically increase fan pressure and raise expectations for all parties, forcing the UFC to prioritize making it happen. Aspinall's observation perfectly reveals Jones's calculated quiet as intentional disengagement, a clear signal that regardless of all the discussion and rumors, Aspinall simply doesn't register as Jones's current focus, leaving Tom to face the harsh truth that he might never secure the fight he desperately wants and has been demanding. This moment delivers absolutely elite psychological warfare at its peak. Tom Aspinall, with unwavering certainty in every syllable, confidently proclaims he'll force Jon Jones into retirement without ever sharing the octagon. This represents masterful mental combat that can seriously impact a competitor's mindset. He's not merely challenging Jones to fight or generating publicity. He's directly attacking Jones's core determination and competitive drive, implying that Jones would genuinely prefer to abandon his career completely rather than face the unique threat that Aspinall represents to his reputation. This takes incredible self-belief to state publicly, specifically crafted to provoke Jones and pressure him into responding. He's brilliantly converting Jones's apparent hesitation and refusal to commit into acknowledgement of defeat, completely changing how everyone views the situation. The challenge has been issued in the most aggressive, confrontational manner possible, and now everyone waits to see how Jones handles this direct assault on his fighting spirit. Then, right as the drama reaches its peak and everyone speculates about Jones's next move, we receive this earth-shattering revelation. Jon Jones has officially stepped away from mixed martial arts competition. This stunning development, whether genuine and final or another calculated maneuver in Jones's strategic playbook, completely disrupts the heavyweight landscape and perfectly confirms Aspinall's aggressive predictions in the most unexpected way possible. If Jones actually retired instead of facing Aspinall, then Aspinall's audacious prediction about ending Jones's career without fighting would incredibly and almost magically become reality. This emphasizes the wildly unpredictable nature of Jones's professional choices that have baffled supporters and experts for years. Everyone from casual viewers to dedicated followers to UFC leadership finds themselves completely bewildered about his intentions and the division's future direction. This retirement statement, whether authentic or strategic positioning, only adds more intrigue to the Jones mystique and amplifies the fascination with this ongoing drama. Actually, I'm still active, I'm an entertainer, I'm maintaining my training regimen, and I remain in the UFC testing program. That statement lasted virtually no time whatsoever. As rapidly as the retirement speculation emerged and dominated social media discussions, Jones returns with a definitive response to eliminate all doubt, verifying he remains active and training intensively daily. This immediate clarification completely undermines Aspinall's claims about forcing his retirement and demonstrates Jones's complete control over his public narrative and reputation. He refuses to allow Aspinall's psychological tactics to succeed or gain momentum. By strongly confirming his continued activity and commitment to the sport, Jones reestablishes his dominant position in the division while reminding everyone of his championship status, though without directly confronting the Aspinall situation or making specific commitments. This preserves the drama while keeping everyone speculating, proving that while the heavyweight champion might be completely unpredictable in his choices and timing, he absolutely hasn't left competition or finished performing at elite levels. Tom Aspinall possesses 15 professional victories and every single one ended early, never requiring judges' scorecards. This concise yet incredibly powerful fact from the analyst provides the ultimate undeniable response to Jon Jones's dismissive newcomer narrative. 15 wins with 15 finishes. Really think about those numbers for a moment. This isn't simply a dangerous competitor who might cause problems. This represents a complete destruction machine who ends careers, someone who has never needed official decisions because he eliminates opponents before time expires. This statistic proves Aspinall's undisputable proven danger level in the most definitive way and explains exactly why Jones's reluctance to engage him extends far beyond seeking historic fights or maximizing earnings. This suggests much deeper strategic thinking in Jones's calculations, or maybe, as Aspinall has consistently argued with complete conviction, genuine avoidance of what might become a career-ending stylistic nightmare that could destroy his championship reign. These numbers expose Aspinall as an elite proven destroyer with a flawless record of devastation, not just another contender hoping for his championship opportunity.